this is the second stage, below freezing. And I decided to go with Yoko because she walks really slow.
Yeah.
But she can make a phenomenal shortcut in the stage. Because she worked for Umbrella, she's still in their computer system. Because of that, she's able to cut across an entire area of the stage. If I were to choose Kevin, I would not get anywhere near as fast. I think you save about 5 minutes with her.
Did you find anything new?
And then there's the boss run, which you'll see towards the end. You'll see the final reason why I chose to run with Yoko. Actually, I think you could chop as much as 7 minutes down with Yoko versus Kevin. It's a lot of time saved. So, now back to the various modes. Why did I go with infinite ammo? Well, for most of the stages, you'll see I really don't have to use infinite ammo. This is one of those stages where I don't need to use infinite ammo. I mostly did it for the sake of, because I had to rerun these stages many, many, many times. And it's more convenient just not having to worry at all, ever, about the ammo. I mean, let's say, for example, I'm doing a run and I miss my mark. You'll see later on I'll throw 2 acid vials. There's the example of the stairs ramming. You ram your way up the stairs, and you do save, especially on this stage. It's mandatory. You save time. And if you had online, you could actually compare. But since this game is now offline, you can't do that anymore. So, I'm going to be picking up, right around here, I'm going to be picking up the acid vials. Another thing I do, yeah, there we go, right there. Another thing I do is, you're saying, oh wow, you're really fast with the passwords. There's a 1 in 3 chance you'll get the passwords right.
Hey there.
There's 2 passwords in this stage. So, there's a 1 in 3 chance per station that you go to. Basically what it equates to is you're probably going to play this stage anywhere from 60 times to 200 times just to get the randomizer in your favor. I recommend choosing the numbers I chose if you have the American version. Those were the most common numbers, as I discovered through a lot of trial and error. Of course, yet again, I want to remind you, it is a randomizer, so that's just from my personal experience. Now, what I've also noticed as I was playing through this stage is the Japanese version is a bit easier than the American version, which is kind of unfair. That's the other reason why I'm going infinite ammo. It's like, well, in your face, Japan, if you're going to have the easier version. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, so aside from that, occasionally I'll use Lone Wolf mode, and occasionally I won't. Now, in this case, I sort of need the NPCs for this mode. As you're about to see right here, this is where they become really convenient. See, I got hit there. Never mind. If you're lucky, okay, right there, that's probably the only scene I could have really shaved off my time. If you're lucky, you can get your NPC ally to go in that room as you're running out, and the door will be open, so you don't have those extra seconds of opening the door again. And then, of course, your NPC ally gets hit, but too bad. That's pretty much that, and you saw the very, very beginning when the zombie goes into the room. Those are the only 2 scenes where you really need your NPCs. From here on, they can die. They're cannon fodder. They're no good. So it's pretty much strictly for the beginning. Yet again, though, if you run the stage enough times, you really don't need the NPCs for this particular stage. I'd say overall, though, in terms of running these stages, that's really convenient. Yeah, he opened the door for me. That saved tremendous time. Now, I haven't seen this run in about 3 years, so I'm working off of memory here. Okay, so let's go back to yet again. Okay, so if you're going to be doing the fastest run, Lone Wolf mode is mostly convenience thing. It's just nice not having the NPCs screaming, "Hey, watch out! Hey, listen! Hey, listen! Oh no! Oh no! Shut up!" After 50 times, it drives you nuts. That's why in the first stage, it might have been a slight advantage to have them on, but I turned them off, just for the sake of sanity. Okay, see, right here. This is why I have infinite ammo. Right here. If I had missed, I would not have enough ammo. Normally you get 2 of those when you have normal ammo. If I had missed my mark, that whole run would have been scrapped. It would have been scrapped anyway, okay? But like I said, for the sake of running this repeatedly, you're going to get a tremendously faster time if you run these stages individually. If you try to run the entire thing, no matter how lucky you are, you're not going to get the time that you would get if you ran it in segments. This is one of the few games where it's pretty much, if you're going to get the fastest possible time, you have to run it in segments. It is out of the question to run this game beginning to end and expect to even come close to competing against the times I get. Because this whole game is a randomizer. It's a set randomizer. I think there's about 6 to 9 ways each stage lays itself out with the randomizer. So, if you get on the randomizer, you're set. Maybe the zombie will come a certain way or the other way. Maybe the zombie will be facing backwards. Usually it has to do, though, with the puzzles. When you solve the puzzles. You cannot waste time trying to figure out the puzzles. That's a tremendous waste of time. Okay, so now I'm running through. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm almost done. I'm about halfway done with this. And this time is so utterly fast that even people with the hard drive don't have the time I have for this stage. It is literally that fast. Okay, so what did Capcom decide when they made this game? Is they decided to take out the chat room. And a lot of people were furious that they took out the voice chat. They have a regular keyboard chat room, but they took out voice chat. And a lot of people were furious because in this game, you absolutely need to know what your allies are doing. And if you cannot communicate with them, and let's face it, in this game you pretty much have no way of saying, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go to this place. There's no keywords for that at all. You have no idea. So whenever you're playing online and you're not playing with friends, just assume to do the entire thing yourself, which is a nightmare because you don't know if they triggered an enemy. For example, right here, after completing this scene, the hunters are going to defrost. After they defrost, they're now triggered. So imagine playing online. That scene happens. Okay, you get to see that. Next thing you know, the hunters are everywhere. Now, because I haven't gone in any of those rooms yet, the hunters haven't spawned yet. The hunters will spawn once you run by them. And then eventually, once you trigger the next cutscene, then they're permanent spawns. I mean, they're automatically available by that point. See, right here, the hunters are starting to defrost. I'm running by them so fast you won't even notice. This is also where your NPC allies can screw you. See, George is already in the room, so he's already triggered the hunters. They're already up. No, wait, no, I got... Yeah, there's one. See, one's up right there. The other one didn't trigger yet. I don't care if George dies. I don't care if Alyssa dies. Because they've served their purpose. Now, that sounds cruel. Now, where am I going? Many of you may ask. Well, that's... well, actually, I'm not there yet. Okay. You're going to be asking, right after this scene, are you insane? You got, like... Well, you'll see. Maybe I should just shut up and wait. Very convenient without the load screens. Okay. There we go. I have 3 minutes. Where the hell are you going? You got 3 minutes. And there's zombies. And hunters. The great thing about the hunters, by the way, is if they slash you, they have a chance of decapitating you, especially on the higher difficulties, one-hit kills. And then they also have a chance of breaking whatever weapon you have equipped. I think there are a few exceptions, but they'll pretty much break all your guns. So, you cannot have a gun equipped with a hunter. They could break your gun. You're like, no. This is where having David is very handy. If I recall, David can repair all of your weapons. So, yet again, where am I going? I'm running out of time here. Well, this is why you pick Yoko. This is the reason. Yoko can go all the way back, and it is quite a trek, and she can pick up a Magnum. And if you're a fan of Resident Evil, you know the Magnum is the most powerful weapon in the game, next to the rocket launcher. Possibly a few other weapons, but it's pretty much the most convenient, the fastest loading, most powerful weapon, so less recoil. So I'm going back for that, and if I had picked Kevin, I'd just be sitting in that room waiting the 3 minutes. But it would take a lot longer to take out the boss because I wouldn't have the Magnum. So here I go, running through. By the way, if any of you want to try this, I recommend not doing this, because if you're allowed, I think you're allowed to make 2 mistakes total, and then you just will not make the time. The timer will simply run down. You won't make it. So here I am. If you get kidnapped by the moth, you end up here. Another fun thing about online, there's all these little quirks, like getting kidnapped by the moth. Yet again, another thing you bypass by picking Yoko. Just so much time saved by picking her. Even though she's the weakest character, she's the slowest character. She can do this little duck and run. It's not as convenient as Alyssa's backstep or Cindy's duck. They're much faster. I would actually recommend them. But this stage was strictly made for her, so we're going to use her. In file number 2, I recommend for many of the stages picking George, because he can make his gun, he can make like a cure gun, and he can one-shot any enemy in the game. The catch is he can't lock on, and so in other words, it takes a lot to heal your guy around and aim. Also, you can accidentally heal your allies instead of trying to kill what you're trying to kill, but it's an instant death weapon. It's absolutely phenomenal, especially with infinite ammo. Okay, so I'm still running through, and I'm trying to do my best to avoid the hunters. Remember, they can kill Yoko especially fast. I'm actually astounded that both George and Alyssa are with me still. Here's the catch. As long as you're running from room to room, your NPC allies will kind of like auto-spawn behind you. So no matter what kind of condition they're in, other than death, I think I've lost Alyssa here. I'm trying to save George. Nope, there's Alyssa. Woohoo! Another thing, if I recall, if you take damage in this game, you do slightly less damage if you're injured, and if you're close to an enemy, you do more damage than if you're further away, depending on what weapon you're wielding, what gun you're wielding. They have these little nuances in the game. Okay, so this is about over, and you're about to discover why I ran through the stage and got the Magnum. And that's about it. Boss is dead. And that's my run.